Earlier this year, when Samsung launched the S24 lineup, the Ultra naturally grabbed the headlines with its premium features. But the standard S24 and S24 Plus have also managed to carve out their own spotlight. And the reason boils down to just one word: Exynos. Yes, Samsung brought back its Exynos chip for select markets, including India, reigniting the old hardware fragmentation debate. The big question was, would Exynos hold these phones back, or could it offer an unexpected edge? Almost 9 months later, we do have the answers. So, let's break down what it is really like to live with the S24 and S24 Plus and find out if Exynos turned out to be a liability or a pleasant surprise. And if you are finding value in such deep dives, do make sure to hit that subscribe button so that we can continue making more videos like this one. Samsung's Exynos 2400 found on the S24 and S24 Plus is a 4nm chip with a deca-core CPU and an AMD architecture-based Xclipse 940 GPU. How does this compare to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, especially when it comes to heating? To find that out, I did a 10-minute 8K video recording test on the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra to see if they both heat up. To my surprise, the Plus actually remained slightly cooler towards the end. Do note that the Ultra has a bigger vapor chamber, so technically it is designed to be more thermally efficient. Exynos 2400 can also handle graphic-intensive games without any issues. But if you're really into gaming and push your phone to the limit, you might want to check out phones with more advanced cooling solutions. Moving on, day-to-day usage on both smartphones is flagship-grade quick and smooth, which is aided by 8GB of standard RAM on the S24 and 12GB on the 24 Plus. But Samsung's Galaxy AI is the star of the show here. It brings some incredibly cool AI features to these smartphones. For instance, AI baked into Samsung Notes can enhance your productivity significantly. You also have other niche but futuristic features like Live Translate for real-time language translation. Samsung is promising 7 major Android updates on the S24 series. So, these two phones will get Android 21, which is quite insane to be honest. Aesthetically, these two smartphones have a familiar Samsung Galaxy look. The frame has a refined matte finish and it is also flatter than before. The two S24 models also finally achieve symmetrical bezels. This refinement has allowed for an increase in display size by 0.1 inch versus their predecessors. The regular S24 remains pleasingly compact for an Android smartphone. Its accessibility and ergonomics are unmatched, making it a joy to use. The S24 Plus, on the other hand, is more of a standard-sized Android smartphone. An important thing to note is that only the Ultra model is treated to a titanium frame, while the S24 and S24 Plus stick with armored aluminium. Honestly, a more unified construction approach across all S24 models would have been really appreciated. Samsung also missed the opportunity of not adopting the boxier aesthetic of the Ultra for the S24 and S24 Plus. This would have distinguished these two smartphones more clearly from the lower-end Galaxy phones. Anyway, as previously stated, the displays on these two phones have gotten a slight bump in size, with the S24 sporting a 6.2-inch AMOLED, while the Plus version stretching to 6.7 inches. Both displays feature LTPO tech for better power management. They are also brighter than before, with a peak brightness of 2600 nits achievable while watching HDR content. The sunlight legibility is also excellent across both models. Both phones also have an ultrasonic fingerprint reader which is accurate and super fast. But the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner does not work with a tempered screen protector. You will also find stereo speakers on these two smartphones and the audio quality is loud with good amount of bass and great vocal clarity. The larger S24 Plus manages to squeeze out a bit more volume. But do not underestimate the smaller S24. It can still belt out some incredible sound, making the most of its compact form factor. As before, the two smartphones come with IP68 rating for water and dust resistance. Additionally, both models have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection at the front and back, unlike the Ultra which comes with the latest Gorilla Glass armor. The useful anti-reflective display coating from the Ultra is also missing on these two phones. Now let's talk about optics. The S24 and S24 Plus have basically the same camera sensors as the S23. A 50 megapixel main, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. Samsung has reused the rear camera hardware on these smartphones for 3 generations now, and while its performance is still quite good, an upgrade is overdue now. Anyway, Daytime photos from all sensors showcase vibrant colors with a good saturation boost. Low light images also impress with bright colors and minimal noise, although detail retention and highlight management are not the best. On a positive note, the camera system still excels in video recording, delivering impressively stable footage with plenty of detail. Also, the front 12 megapixel camera takes detailed and sharp photos and should keep selfie enthusiasts quite happy. Moving on, the S24 gets a 4000 mAh battery while the Plus gets a 4900 mAh cell. The battery life is commendable across both devices. For instance, the S24 offers around 7.5 hours of screen time, while the Plus model extends this to about 9 hours on a mixed-use basis. The charging speeds on these two models are not particularly groundbreaking. The Plus maxes out at 45 watts and the S24 is a bit slower at 25 watts. Wireless charging at 15 watts also remains the same as before. So, Samsung's decision to bring Exynos back was not as risky as it first seemed. In day-to-day use, performance has been smooth with no bottlenecks. That said, it is clear where these phones shine and where they fall short. For those who need a top-tier camera smartphone or are looking specifically for a gaming smartphone, the market has more specialized choices. Samsung's own S24 Ultra, for instance, provides a better telephoto lens, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, and the added utility of the S Pen. So, it is a better fit for power users. But for most people, the S24 and S24 Plus strike the right balance.